Um, Today we have a workshop, which is mastered by Nikki, who's our special guest today. Toastmasters organization, an organizer of this event, a super great mother organization that surrounds many different clubs, among them our club, Poland's First Toastmasters, is working for 100 years already, and our club is 19 years old. And I would like to introduce to you our workshop master, Nikki Faye, a neuroscientist, researcher, and a motivational coach. Hello.
Hi. It's very hot today, and I'll try to make it even more hotter. So we're enjoying and doing some interesting activities. The topic of today is inner conflict management. I want to make sure if you can see the screen, if it's on or not. It's on, but we cannot see anything. Okay, I will do it now, so then you will see everything. Okay, now it should work. I hope. Is it? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Inner conflict management. So it will be a workshop. I will be telling some theory a little bit, and then we'll have some exercises. So it will be not only listening and getting bored with that. I would love to start with music, so we are all on the same level. Music playing. I cannot hear it. Anyway, we don't have music, so we'll skip the part with the music. And I would suggest we start with applause then, because you're a lot of people. You're the people who came here to give public speeches that we are going to do later. So check out how I'm moving here. It's Toastmasters, it's about learning how to give public speeches. So it will be amazing if you will evaluate me as well as a speaker. So later on you will have this opportunity to scan the QR code. And this is how, by looking at others, you will also learn what mistakes do we do, what mistakes people do here on the stage, and learn from those mistakes yourself. So next time when you're here as well, you don't do these mistakes. You're great that you're here. Let's start. I will introduce myself. So I'm Nikoloz, and they introduced me with my Facebook name, but I'll introduce properly with my name is Nikoloz Tarielashvili. I was born in Georgia, and I lived 10 years in Germany. So what I do, it's a little bit different things. I'm an engineer and physicist, and at the same time I'm a neuroscientist, so this is my education. And my profession and specialization is neurocognitive psychology, where I was doing researches in 3 different countries, Germany, Russia, and US. So, and here you can see below are some institutions where I worked, was scientist there, and part of the lab. Now, very important part. Can you see the free time activities?
Yeah. Yes.
Grill and hitchhiking?
Yeah.
It's a part of the topic. Why included this? Inner conflict management. How many of you have hobbies? Hobbies. How many of you have hobbies? Yes. How many of you have more than 1 hobby? And who has more than 3 hobbies? You guys have problem. You guys have problem. And I'll tell you why. So I listed, I have 4 hobbies over there. Barbecue, hitchhiking, tennis, and dancing. I want to do all of them, but I cannot at the same time. I can concentrate on just one thing, right? And that's the problem. It's one of the beginning things when the inner conflict starts to rise. It shouldn't be negative, but it's a problem to make a decision. Inner conflict management is a lot about decisions. And it's difficult to make a decision when you want to grill and at the same time we want to play sports. I tried to have this piece with meat once in one hand and the tennis racket in the other hand. People, it doesn't work like this. It's tough. So,
how about you use the tennis racket over the grill and with the meat on it?
That's a good. I never did it, but maybe it will be a good thing to start. So, this is what I mean.
New one hobby for you.
New hobby combination. How to do this? Yes. So, this is what I mean. Inner conflict management is not always about problems, but also the things that you cannot decide. So, just from your free time and free activities, you also might have the things. I'm not thinking if maybe I can somehow. Yeah, I will do it like this, okay? Because all the time be there, it's not the best thing to do. Can you see this huge text over there?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to read it. Don't try. I put it just to scare you. It is all about inner conflicts. It's a very big workshop. It's more than 4 hours, but now I put the most important things for you, so we are good in 45 minutes or so. The most important from this message that you can see on the screen is our inner world, what it consists from. And I put here some different languages, so it's important for you to understand them. So it's English, German, and Russian. So we can just read it. First is wishes. It's a big part of our inner world. Second, moral and ethics. Needs and values. This is also a very big part of our inner world. This is actually what our inner world consists from. And personal traits. Emotional intelligence, and then I will not continue. But you got the point. There are a lot of things that build our inner world. That's why it's quite complicated and complex. That's why there could be a lot of negative joints that will influence us, and we get in inner conflicts. I have a question to you. What does it mean to solve inner conflict? Any ideas?
Choose one option.
One option?
To decide.
To decide.
Yeah.
To make peace with it, to find somehow peace or balance within it.
When
Ourselves.
To find balance. I would go in characteristics, maybe a little bit, to make it a little bit more clear. Time. At some point, the inner conflict or any conflict starts, and then it lasts for a certain amount of time. It can take 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, several days, weeks, depression, right? So, one of the ways, you cannot solve it just like this. It will never happen. We are emotional creatures. But what we can do, we can take this time that could have been the whole span of inner conflict and push it, make it shorter. In example here, I have 1 week. Maybe you cannot decide for something for 1 week, and we will come to the examples. Maybe as an example could be you cannot decide what is more important for your family or a career. And people suffer from this. They cannot decide that they come into depression. And it's not 1 week, it's a month. But if we will know how to deal with this conflict, our inner conflict, and shorten this down from months to even 1 week, we won't. We want so many months and weeks there. So one of the solutions to solve inner conflict is just to increase the time. Second is the pain. Inner conflict brings negative emotions. And they could be for really, really bad, 100%. I feel this emotional pain, 100%. But what I can do, I can decrease it if I know the technique. So this is what I call solve inner conflict. We're finding solution not by just getting rid of it for 100%. It's not possible. Time and pain. This is what we need to understand first before we jump into solving and finding the ways and methods how to solve inner conflicts. Questions until now? Who does not have a question, please raise your hand. Who does not have a question, raise your hand. Do you have a question?
Yes. You said that we need to control our pain. This is the option.
Emotional pain, decrease it.
Okay, how?
This is why we are going to talk here for 45 minutes.
Okay.
So we will come to this point. But this is the main idea to understand what are we going to talk today about. That's why I put it in front. Right? Any other questions until now? Okay. We have a lot of pieces of paper here. I don't think we have enough pens. Do we have pens?
I have one additional.
So I want you to think about 3 or 4 conflicts that you might have right now, or some things that happened in the past. Because this is a workshop, I want you to work. And we are going to solve your conflicts today. Please have pieces of paper here.
Can we eventually use our notebooks and telephones and smartphones?
It's also possible you can use your smartphones as well, yeah. And I would say we will go for 3 minutes or 4 minutes. And I will try to connect to this.
No, I don't. I know.
Okay, very good.
Could you give an example of inner conflicts?
Inner conflict. Example, yes. You want to eat yogurt, but at the same time you want to eat a banana. This is inner conflict. You have 2 things you want to do at the same time, but you cannot because you don't have enough money to buy both. For example, more problematic is you cannot decide where to live in which country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About personal, right? Personal conflicts.
Yes, your conflicts that you might have right now or you had in the past. So we want to learn techniques, apply them today, at least get to know them, and then hopefully solve the problem. Oh yeah, 3 minutes. Motivational music.
Works.
Right, yeah, you should write it conflict management.
One is good actually, that's like very... Actually, yeah, it would be this one. Written out.
Who has already written down at least 3 inner conflicts? Okay, let's put it the other way. Who still needs more time? Yep, okay. Let's go for 1 more minute. Okay, I think it's good. Later on it will be also fine. If you just have a couple of them, we will still practice and you will get to know other conflicts as well, so we'll sort them out. Okay, let's continue. Oops, I started from the very beginning. Okay, here we go. Yes, let's come now to the point. You wrote different conflicts. They're different. And here are so many people. We don't have the similar problem. There are types of inner conflicts that we can divide them into. And well, there is more or less a distribution. There are types of conflicts that just exist for 1%, 0.52. But what I suggest, let's go for 90%. I want to talk today about those 90% of conflicts that exist. Can you see in the middle 90%? Mm-hmm. The big bubble? This is what we're going to talk about. And here are 3 words. Want, can, and must. Have you ever come across these 3 words together? Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's talk how they will be used for inner conflicts. So first of all, it's the understanding. Let me come here. emotions. First is understanding. We need to understand if we have inner conflict or not. Sometimes we just feel bad and we don't know that it's inner conflict. And this happens through emotion and mental understanding. If we are aware of our bodies and doing some practices, we are not going to talk about this. We are going to talk about second part. Second part is theoretical. To know how things work, the methodology, and practice. Here it goes. How it works, and what should we do in order to get rid of it. So it will be practice. Now, okay, to make it faster here and have more time for practice, I'll just say, show you the psychological directions on which this method is built. You have probably seen this guy, Carl Gustav Jung, and you know probably Alfred Adler, or William James, Sigmund Freud, and Friedrich Skinner. So they had created an amazing school of psychology, and some of their works are still useful, others are not. Everything develops, science as well, psychology as well. And at the moment we have more or less those directions. It's a lot of directions in psychology. But it turns out that we can find one umbrella to put all of these directions under this psychoanalysis, field theory, behaviorism, and so on and so forth. You see, it went all below this. And this is called the value motivational domain. We're going to talk about this value motivational domain. Oh, amazing. Wow, you're genius. Wow. Okay, now you have to work more. Follow me up. We're going to talk about typology of the conflicts and divide them. You need to draw 3 lines like this. I can also bring it back here so it will be easier
but
for
we
you
see
to
less
see.
on the back.
But,
In the back, we don't really see it. Sorry.
okay.
That's the conflict here.
Just put 3 columns. I will also say so, it will be easier. So 3 columns. You just need 3 lines, and then we have 3 columns. 4 columns. But we will use 3 of them. Okay. So now we write on the left side, I want. In the middle, we're going to write I must. And the third, on the very right, we write I can. The same 3 words. Want, must, and can. That we had before. This is the main takeaway from today. These 3 words. Want, must, and can. Now, conflicts are built, this 90% of the conflicts are built around those 3 words. It could be polarity, want and want. We had this example before, and we are going to see a couple of examples now. It's called a motivational conflict. And here is the motivation. You don't need to read the text. It's later on if you want to go deeper. I'll give you my contact and I can send it to you. But I will give icons, some pictures, so it's easily to see. You want to go out and have a night with friends. You want to drink. But at the same time, you have a partner. And it happens that the same evening you want to go out for a date. And that's a problem. Who had this kind of problem? You want to go with friends, but at the same time, you want to go out for a date. And it's difficult to choose, right? In any case, you lose, no matter what. So, this is the motivational conflict. Another idea could be you want to be a sportsman, you want to be a boxer, you want to go on the ring and be a good fighter, but you want this, but also you don't want to get fist in your face. You're afraid of pain, you don't want this. So, it's again, this, you want, but at the same time you don't want, kind of, some consequences. And here is a little psychology behind this coming from who have heard about the Sigmund Freud's idea, id, ego, and superego. Yes. So it's kind of coming from there. So you can see right away the connection between psychology of 20th century and now this a little bit end of 20th, I would say. The second one, connection, I want and I must. So there are things that we want or that we don't want to do, but then we kind of must. This is called a moral conflict. And this comes against our psychology, Freud's psychology idea against superego. It's just a small addition we actually don't need to remember this. Again, for example, I must work, but I want to go and sleep. It happened to you? Come on, for whom it didn't happen. Come on, guys. You're not working hard enough. We're filming this, no one will take you for a job. Or, again, another moral conflict, right? Here is the thing. I'm dating a person, but at the same time, I like another person too. For many societies and many cultures, it is not okay. And here comes the problem, inner conflict. Well, you want, but you should not. Sort of. Right? So, this is another conflict. Third one, I want and I can. Unfulfilled desire. And here comes the psychology of Adler. He was describing that when you cannot do something, you get this energy, you accumulate the energy, and then you can use it somewhere else. So you have this big desire and energy coming. Example could be that you are a teenager and you want to be James Bond, but you cannot. But well, some of the kids or teenagers have this inner conflict. They don't feel good. They want to be better, but they cannot be because they don't have enough experience yet. They don't have skills as they want to have, or they're dreaming there, but they're dreaming really badly, and they feel bad. Another thing is that I want to have a lot of money, but somehow I cannot. Like it doesn't. It's a problem. Something is not there. I'm in a job that is not paying me enough, but I still want money. And there comes sometimes in some social situations this, hey, it would be great right now to have like $100 more or $1,000 more, right? Must and must. Conflict of roles. Can you think about something like this? You must be doing something and at the same time you must be doing something as well. Any ideas, roles, please?
Just an idea.
Yes.
I think maybe parents may have this. They want to stay late at job and finish some projects, but at the same time they need, as a parent, they need to be at home and spend time with their children. So the conflict of roles of parent and successful businessman.
Businessman, entrepreneur. Great example, exactly. Roles, being parent and good businessman, entrepreneur at the same time, yes?
One that happened to me quite a lot, it's when you're right, but your manager tells you otherwise. So you need to please your manager, but you need to be right, and you cannot decide how to lead your project or take the decision. Because you need to please your boss, but you need to be right at the same time.
Yeah, I can see their direction. It's not that clear, but I think it's a wrong direction, a problem of roles. Well, we are going also to split our conflict later on. Another one, did I miss it? Must and must? Yeah, roles. So, for example, here I have an example. When you work as a policeman, your idea is to get people, and depending what they do, arrest them, give them penalty, and so on. And imagine now that you have a friend. You're a policeman and you have a friend. So you have two roles. Policeman and friend. So your friend is smoking weed.
It's a drama.
It's a drama. Okay, now, and in Poland, as I know, it's not legal. Because I'm from the country where it is legal, so it's like different story. But here is a dilemma. What should you do? Will you, as a police, give a penalty when you are with who will give a penalty? If you're a policeman.
If the friend is bad.
Oh, bad. Okay. So, mostly not.
It's a cultural thing. I mean, if it's your friend, you would do, but you can imagine some countries like Switzerland, you would go and find him.
You will go and find him. Let's go to a different example. Let's imagine that your friend now is not smoking weed, but is doing this, what you can see on the picture.
Is a hairdresser?
He's shooting someone. Nice one.
Is working in human trafficking. For example. Big, again, conflict, right? It's a very good example to make it really strong. What would you do in this case if you're a policeman? So you see, here is a big, you will not be a good friend. If it's your family member, so we are going to learn how to deal with this. Okay? Another example, but I think we're good right now. I think it's clear, right? What means must and mustn't. We don't need to go farther in the making here a mood quite low. I see this example was not good, but I think it's good to reflect on. That's the point of this example. I can and I can. Another conflict. Inadequate self-esteem. We think we can do something, but actually we cannot. And this is very often happens when, let's say we want to go to the gym and we want to work out, and we know we can, but somehow we realize we cannot. And we are still motivated to eat, for example, right? To eat more and have these habits. Another example. Oh, we don't have an example. Last one. Must and can. So, example is here when you start your job. First job. I wonder how many of you felt that you're not good enough in the job. You started it, you're new. It's obvious that you don't know, but if you had this feeling that you should be better, how many of you had this? Most of the people. And this is again in your context. You feel bad. Why do you feel bad? Because you feel you need to be better. You things that you must, but you cannot. This is where this conflict coming from. Another thing, you want to have harmonical relationship. But what happens is quite often you have the squabble, you fight. So this is another thing. You can feel bad about this and think, okay, am I in correct relationship? Am I not? Should I do something there? And we're going to learn what to do with this as well. Or in the military, it's the same. Like you have to work hard, but you cannot because you're new. You are not physically fit. Cultural shock. Another cultural shock could be, I have a good example of my friend. He's from India, and the cow in India is the holy animal, and it's not okay to eat the cow. But then he came to Europe and realizes that the steak and the burgers, it's what people adore here, and it's a delicacy. So if you want to be part of the culture, sort of, you should still, maybe you don't have to eat, but can you accept this or can't you accept the other culture? And here comes the inner conflict. Quite tough situations sometimes. So now you have written down your inner conflicts. Yes, I know I made here mood a little bit low to make you think what kind of things exist, but I need this for you to really understand where the problems can come from. And when you reflect a couple of hours and spend it now, later on, it will be so easy for you to solve this conflict, inner conflicts. I want you now to sort out those 3 and 4 things that you wrote out on pieces of paper or on your iPhones or phones, smartphones. Which conflicts are those? Okay?
Could you put back the table that
Yes,
you had?
of course. Let's take 1 minute for this because it's not a big exercise. And then we're going to discuss how to solve this. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So, now I want you to count down Okay, starting from here, you say 1, 2, 3, and we go like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. So you should. 2, 3,
So
3.
1,
3.
Go ahead.
3. 1.
2.
1,
2,
3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
2.
3.
1.
Okay, so now the people we will build the groups of 3 people. The first 3, second 3, third 3, and so on. And let's discuss for 6 minutes how to solve one of the conflicts. So we're going sort of brainstorm, we will create the groups. You can also go there if you want. But let me give you an instruction. Who is the second person? Second person will give one of the conflicts, and others are going to give you some solutions, their ideas, how we can solve this conflict. Okay, is it clear?
Here.
Yeah, anywhere. You can discuss it here. There are some places as well. So we're now making a groups.
So we make groups of 1 to 3?
3 people. 3 people will be in a group. So that's why we count 1, 2, 3. You will be the first group, you will be the second group, third group, fourth group, and so on. Second
Oh, it's
person.
not like we pick like who said 1 altogether, 2 altogether. We're just gonna be
No.
okay. It's just
Yeah, not all together. So the group number 1, you can sit here. Group number 2, you can go, let's say, there. Group number 3, you can get another place. We're going just to discuss the conflict and suggest each other solutions. This will open our mind to see which direction solutions can go, and then we will discuss different solutions that are all, I wouldn't say fits to all, but solutions that are very, very helpful in those situations, okay? So we have 6 minutes for this, and we meet here in 7 minutes. So let's continue.
I cannot diverse
Did
myself.
it work? For the first time it worked, for the second. So, everyone good?
Yeah.
There were solutions? How many solutions did you find? Some solutions were found. Okay, let's continue and see how is it possible to solve some of the problems. So those are the general solutions, and depending on the situation, obviously there should be some tweaks needed, but at the end of the day, it's very helpful things that are researched for many, many years. So let's see now how this works. And here you go, by the way. I want to market myself a little bit. I just started my social media. I'm very bad in social media. However, what I do cool stuff. So if you will subscribe there, I'm sending you, it's an Instagram, I will send you a very developing video how to get focus. There will be 3 methods explained. You need to write me 5 whenever you subscribe and write me a message, and I'll send you a video how to get better focus and improve your attention. Nikoloz.official. I'll give you 30 seconds to subscribe.
Should I write to you?
Yes, and write me 5 so I know I need to send you.
5.
Was it 5? No, it's a different lead magnet. Sorry.
Number 5?
It's not number 5. 5 is the time management method. You can, if you need time management method, write me 5. If you need focus, write me focus. And this is what I will send you, depending on this.
Just focus.
Sorry?
Just focus.
Just focus?
I sent you both.
Okay, yeah, you can do this. Send me both. Subscribe and send.
Give me all.
Give me all, yeah. Give me all, it will be way more.
Can I?
Yeah, just write book. Can somebody open the door?
Somebody can open the door.
Somebody's there?
She moved to the
other door.
We have more people joining. Come in, take a seat, maybe, I don't know, here. Maybe it will be tough to sit there. You can sit there, I guess, because the screen is here. So, okay. So, how to solve it? How to solve the problems? Let's start with the motivational one. The one that comes very often. And probably when you discuss some of the conflicts, maybe you had even time to discuss more, you realized that some conflicts are mild. It's relatively easy to solve. But some of them are really decent. Like examples could be here, the person could really be brain freezed and couldn't take an action. It happens when there is something that's really pressuring you. We had the example of staying in one country or in the other, choosing between family or career if you cannot do both. How to do this? So it's to find solution. It can really be devastating. You might really feel bad. Place to live. We had this example, and another one. What is more important for you? Getting enough money on the job or loving doing what you do? Most of the people concentrate on just one, not on both. Very often it's not possible, even. So the general solution here is to really understand yourself. It comes from here. It's about your values and your motives. Why are you doing the things that you do? Why are you choosing this? Finding the answer to the question. So you need time for this. You cannot solve it if it's a decent inner conflict. You cannot choose overnight in which country you want to live, if there are pluses, minuses, pros and cons. But you need to think about this why. And this is what people don't do. Okay, you will not sit for 2 hours and decide, do you want to eat a banana now or yogurt? Will you? Come on. But
Sometimes.
You have already eaten because you were too hungry at this point.
at this point, example was different before. In supermarket, you can just buy one because you don't have money. But okay, so this is the one very easy, but it needs time to answer those questions. Why? Motivation and your values. This is the said easily, but it's not done as easily. Moral ethical conflict. Difference between want and must. This word must is not correct interpretation, because there are things that have similar meaning, but in different languages it's just one word having all this together. But in English, unfortunately not. So it's the same as should, need, and necessary. So you can look this word and understand it as all of those four together. Must, necessary, should, and necessity, need. There. Is there something that we must do? Is there anything that we must do?
You mean
Yes or no? Yes? There is something that we must?
taxes?
Yeah.
Taxes. You must.
Must be taxes.
Well,
From
if you
the
don't do it,
conflicts,
there will be
right?
consequences, but is it must?
Are we referring the conflicts that we wrote, or are we just saying
No,
we
it's a
must
general.
Of course, everyone must eat. I said everyone must eat to
Sure,
live.
I think so. Why must you eat? I mean, it's
You're
your
gonna
decision.
die.
If you don't eat, you will die, but that's your decision. I mean, anyway, I'm not going now to go in and discuss this. I just want to give you some of the ideas. In some situations, the word must is not used in the way it is. So very often we want to do something. For example, our boss tells us, well, we must work on this problem. What does it mean? It means that your boss wants you to work on this problem. It's not a must. The boss wants to. And just telling someone, you must do this. No, I want you to do this. Can you reflect with this? Yeah?
Sure.
Okay, and then you're tired and you cannot work. Let's say a second example over here. This is example from my life. As a kid, I don't know, but my father told me, it's birthday of your friend, you must go there. And I didn't want to go that night to the birthday. I wasn't in the mood at all. And then I learned, you must. It was something that my father was thinking about. It will be good for you in the future to be friends with this person if you go there. But it's not a must. I can't decide if I want to go to the birthday or not, right? And here is a birthday, but we're happy people. Yeah. So it's very often that this word must is used instead of want. And here are some examples, so I just want to show you, in case you have this conflict, then you could just substitute this word there. I must take care of myself. I must clean my teeth. I must work out. You sure you must work out? Maybe you want to work out? Sometimes we have this low and we don't want to do something and we're, yeah, I must. No, it's not like this. I must finish university. Really? Statistics show that people who did not finish university are the most successful people.
Ouch.
So,
Stop
actually,
demotivating us. It's already painful to sleep with that.
Who did the statistic? Those who
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No new inner conflicts. We don't need new inner conflicts. It's not here for getting trauma. Okay. So the problem is that very often just this word must takes energy. But if we really go to the roots and understand where all of this is coming from, it's coming more from want and not from must. So what I suggest, which is substitute this word when you next time tell yourself, I must go for the job. I have headache, hangover. No, you're sick, take a day off.
So what do we must? Really?
You change it to want. Well, this is philosophical question, what we must. And here is in conflict management, that's philosophy, it's practice. So we can discuss it afterwards. And here is an example. Sorry?
We have 1 minute left.
We have 1 minute left. Good to know. Okay, now the question to the audience. Which of the methods would you love to discuss next? Like, we will have time to discuss just one from the 6. And the rest will be motivation for you to come and talk to me afterwards, so I can talk to you in private maybe. And yeah. Which of we had 6 of them, right?
3.
Want.
3.
Number 3, which one is 3?
Inadequate self-esteem.
Inadequate self-esteem. Who is also for inadequate self-esteem? I just want to see hands, so kind of vote. Other suggestions?
Must and can.
Conflict of roles to support you.
Prost and okay. So
We want all.
5.
we can have another meeting, or you can talk to me after. We don't have that one. Okay, we go for then the most people were for unfulfilled desire. Okay. This one, right? Want and can. Want and can. It was from the back, right?
Number 3 was it like inadequate self-esteem.
Inadequate self-esteem. Oh, okay. Conflict of roles. You sure? Inadequate self-esteem. Okay. Can and can. Okay, let's go for this. Everyone understands the word inadequate self-esteem? It's when we want to do something, but we think we can, but at the end we cannot. And this is where the problem is coming from. And here is an example. If I'm very good in skates, and then I somehow decide to go and do skiing, and go really fast. I just think that I can do this. I don't have this. I have never done it before, so it's still a little bit different. There is similarity. So it's about thinking, hey, actually, is it the same thing or not that you were doing before? Can you really do this? It's again asking yourself a question, where this inner conflict is coming from, reflecting on this. Why do you think that you're good? Do you have proof? Do you have experience? Another suggestion is, so we are not superheroes, that's what's shown here. We're not superheroes, you cannot just have this power. If you're working with wood and you're very good in creating tables, you're building tables from scratch, from nothing. And you do a lot of different tables. Number 1, number 2, number 3, 4. And at some point you got the order to make a chair. And you believe that you're good. Believe me or not. Because you have never ever done a chair. Yes, it's similar, but it's not. You will not be the best doing chair. So, here, whenever you work, not work, but you get to the point you understand that you cannot do the thing, realize that it comes from our imagination. You come back asking questions and reflecting, hey, do I really have this skill? Or maybe I don't. The second part here is, let's come here. We often get the social judgment. This is what we get all the time. Doesn't matter if it's verbal or just people are doing this. We still feel it, right? And take it. It's a tough task. Understanding this already pushes you forward. It's half step or one step done when you understand this, that this is a feedback. And it's not judgment. Don't take it that personally. It's people are judging you, yes. But for yourself, it should be feedback. It doesn't matter what others really feel and what they want to change your emotional state or motivate you to do something. It's your feedback. You're the one who can work on yourself whenever it's about the skill and not feeling that bad. Understanding one step, working on skill is the second step. I think the time is over. I don't want to talk too much and take your time. Whenever you have questions, I'm here after our meeting. I can talk with you about other four, or maybe at some point we might organize another event where I will finish this. Maybe add some additional interesting, additional psychology related or business related topics. Thank you all for being here. I think we will have in a minute a break or something, but let's clap for you.